Welcome to the Science of Hockey, the podcast where we break down the science behind ice hockey. I'm the analyst, your host, and every week we explore the data, research, and evidence that shape how we play, train, and understand the game of hockey. From biomechanics to performance psychology, we take you beyond the rink and into the research lab, giving you insights that go beyond hearsay and into what really makes the difference on the ice. Whether you're a player, a coach, a parent, or just someone passionate about the sport, we're here to bring you scientifically backed information in a language that's friendly and easy to understand. So grab your skates and let's dive into the science of hockey. Welcome to the Science of Hockey, where research hits the rink. I'm your host, the analyst. Today, we focus on the physical challenges faced by ice hockey goaltenders. Hear what elite players and coaches say about the hip and groin demands of techniques like the butterfly save and RVH stance. You won't want to miss this deep dive into injury prevention and performance.
All right, let's lace up our skates and head straight to the ice, because today we're diving deep into the world of ice hockey goaltending.
Yeah, those brave athletes who put their bodies on the line game after game.
Talk about contorting yourself to stop that puck.
You sent over this really interesting study.
Yeah.
And it takes a close look at the physical demands on these players.
Especially their hips and groin.
Yeah.
Oof.
The study goes beyond just analyzing movements, though.
Yep.
It looks at what elite Swedish goaltenders
Ooh, Sweden.
and their coaches
Okay.
perceive as the most demanding aspects of different techniques.
That's a cool perspective to have, right?
It is.
Having both sides.
Yeah.
Because you've got the firsthand experience from the athletes.
Exactly.
But then you've got the coach who's maybe seen,
Right.
the
The big picture.
long game and kind of seen what happens to these guys over time.
Exactly, long term.
Before we get into those specifics, though, just how common are hip and groin issues for these goalies?
It's actually shockingly common. The research shows that 7 out of 10 goaltenders experience these problems during a season.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Wow.
And at any given time, 3 out of 10 are actively dealing with them.
So like a third
Yeah,
at any given time.
exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Makes you wonder if all those crazy saves come with a hidden cost, right?
Yeah.
But why hips and groin
Yeah.
specifically?
It's not just the wear and tear of skating.
Okay.
It's the extreme positions that modern goaltending requires.
I see.
Think about that classic butterfly style.
Yeah.
Dropping to their knees and spreading their legs wide. All that kneeling,
Oof.
plus the butterfly save itself.
Okay.
It puts a ton of pressure on the hips and the
Right.
groin.
I'm starting to see why you sent this study over.
Yeah?
So how does this study break down all the different techniques?
Wow.
Because analyzing goaltending movements, I imagine, is pretty complex.
It is.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
It's not just back and forth, right?
Yeah. No, they break it down into 3 main elements.
Okay.
Stances, transitions,
Right.
and movements within the crease.
Okay. Stances, transitions, and movements within the crease.
Right.
Got it.
So stances are things like the butterfly or
Yeah.
just standing. Transitions are the movements between stances.
Okay.
And then all the little adjustments a goalie makes within the crease.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So did any particular moves stand out as being, like, really demanding?
Yeah, one stance in particular was flagged as being super demanding.
Oh, really?
And you might be surprised to hear it's not the butterfly save.
The butterfly.
Yeah.
I thought that was the ultimate hip killer.
Yeah, it's up there.
Right.
But this
Yeah.
is something called the reverse vertical horizontal,
Reverse vertical horizontal.
or RVH post play.
RVH? What? RVH. Yeah.
That sounds intense.
It is.
What is that?
So imagine the goalie leaning against the goalpost,
Okay, using the post.
using the post for leverage.
But they're twisting their body to make a save.
Oh.
It requires some serious contortion,
Wow.
stretching and twisting at the hip.
Ouch.
That's tough.
Just listening to you describe it is making my hips hurt.
Yeah.
So 40%
Yeah.
of the people in the study said that this RVH was the most demanding,
Most demanding.
Yeah. even more so than the butterfly,
Than the butterfly.
which was only at 25%.
25%, yeah.
Okay. So this RVH, like, why would a goalie put themselves through that?
Right.
What's the advantage?
Well, it's become essential for covering those lower corners of the net,
Okay.
especially as players are getting better at shooting from sharp angles.
Yeah, those sharp angles.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So it allows the goalie to seal off that space.
By using the post.
Using the post, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's risky,
Oh.
but it's often the best way to make those game-saving stops.
Okay.
Yeah,
High risk, high reward, as they say.
that's right.
What about the transitions between stances? Anything interesting there?
Yeah, those transitions involving the RVH,
Okay.
especially going from standing to RVH.
Standing to RVH.
Yeah, that was highlighted as incredibly demanding.
Okay.
And this is cool.
Yeah.
The study breaks down those transitions into even smaller parts.
So it's not just like, okay, you went from standing to RVH.
No.
It's like, micro movements.
Exactly
That's
in those transitions.
Yeah. For instance, for that transition from standing to RVH,
Yeah.
83%
Wow.
of the people said the landing was the most demanding part.
I see.
Yeah. So they're really getting granular.
Because it's not just the move itself. It's like
It's the components of the move.
how you do it.
Exactly.
All this talk about twisting and contorting is making me cringe.
It's a lot.
It sounds like yoga gone wrong.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The study actually points out that these demanding saves,
Yeah.
the RVH and the butterfly.
Require positions similar to what doctors use as a clinical test
What?
for a hip condition called femoroacetabular impingement syndrome.
Femoral what?
Femoroacetabular impingement syndrome.
That's a mouthful.
It is, yeah.
Is there a shorter version?
FAIs.
Yeah, I saw it.
So FAIS is basically a condition where the bones in the hip joint
Right.
rub abnormally.
Ouch.
Yeah, causing pain, stiffness, and even cartilage damage.
So are they saying that every goalie is going to get this?
Not necessarily. No
It's a-
discomfort during those moves doesn't automatically equal FAIs.
Right.
But if you do have it,
Yeah.
you're almost guaranteed to feel pain during the RVH and butterfly.
Okay, so it's a red flag,
It's a red flag, yeah.
but not a diagnosis on its own.
Exactly.
One thing that jumped out at me in this study was the difference in perception between the goalies and their coaches.
Right.
The coaches rated things as more demanding than the players themselves.
Right.
Is that just coaches being overly cautious?
I don't think it's quite that simple.
I think there's a couple things going on.
Okay.
First, coaches.
Yeah.
They have a different perspective, especially ones that have been goalies themselves.
Right?
They've seen how these repetitive movements
Yeah.
can lead to long-term problems.
Yeah.
Sometimes even ending careers.
Right. They're seeing the long game,
Exactly.
and the players are just like, I gotta stop this puck right now.
Yeah, you got to win.
Gotta perform.
No pain, no gain, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And you also can't discount that tough guy culture in hockey.
Yeah, I was going to say hockey's kind of known for that, right?
It is.
Playing through the pain.
Yeah.
It's like a badge of honor,
It's a badge of honor.
which,
Right.
makes for great stories.
Right.
Maybe not so great for your body in the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just coaches versus players.
Okay.
The study also found that
Yeah.
senior goalies, those with more experience,
Okay.
they perceived the movements as more demanding than the junior players.
So the more time you spend in the net,
Yeah.
the more you realize.
The more you learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these movements are definitely tough on the body,
Yeah.
especially the hips.
Especially the hip.
But you can't exactly tell a goalie to just stop doing the butterfly or the RVH.
No.
These are essential moves.
Right.
So
Yep.
what's the solution?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Right.
The study doesn't have all the answers,
Yeah.
but it does point to some areas where we need more research.
Okay.
One idea is tracking the number of butterfly saves.
Like a pitch count.
Yeah, like a pitch count.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's like you've reached your quota for extreme hip contortions today.
exactly. Yeah, it's all about managing that workload
Okay.
and finding ways to reduce that cumulative stress.
Right, because it's not just one game, right?
It's career.
It's a season.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
career.
a lifetime.
It's your whole life, yeah.
Yeah,
So, but figuring out what's a safe pitch count
right.
for a butterfly save,
That's going to be a challenge.
that's a whole other study, right?
Yeah.
It probably varies by age,
Exactly.
experience,
Yeah, individual biomechanics, the intensity of the game,
Yeah.
so many factors.
So many factors, yeah.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It's complex,
Yeah.
but I think it's worth exploring.
Okay, so let's say we figure out the pitch count thing.
Okay.
What else can we do to protect these athletes?
Well, the study also mentions some pretty cool ideas
Yep.
for future research
Yeah.
when it comes to training and technique.
Okay, so we talked about earlier, like, more goalie-specific exercises.
Right.
Things like yoga and Pilates.
Exactly.
But what about actually, like,
Yeah.
modifying the techniques?
That's a really interesting one.
Okay.
They suggest that even small adjustments to how these movements are done
Okay.
could make a big difference.
That makes me nervous.
I get that.
Because these movements are so refined, right?
They are.
It seems like any little change could throw everything off.
Well, think about it this way.
Sure.
Even small adjustments to posture or footwork
Yeah.
could potentially reduce the stress on the hips.
So we're not talking about like reinventing the butterfly.
No.
It's like refining it.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that idea better.
Yeah.
Refining it,
Yeah.
making it a little more body friendly.
Exactly.
Okay, and that kind of ties in with the more goalie-specific training.
It does, yeah.
Right.
We need to move beyond those traditional drills and really focus on movements that mimic the game.
Okay, more lateral movements.
Yeah.
More quick rotations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And exercises that challenge the hip flexors and groin in a safe way.
In a controlled environment.
Exactly. Yeah. And we need to work on that neuromuscular control.
Neuromuscular control. Now, that's a term I haven't heard in a while.
It's a good one.
So explain that to me.
Yeah. It's basically how well your brain can coordinate
Okay.
muscle activation.
Okay. So
And this is crucial for those complex movements,
Yeah.
like the butterfly,
it's like...
super fast
Yeah.
shifts in body position.
Yeah.
And you need really fine control over all those muscle groups.
So it's like you're training the body,
Yeah.
but also the mind.
It's a mind-body
Yeah.
connection. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then you also have prehab.
Prehab. I like that term.
It's a good one.
So it's like you're doing exercises to prevent injuries before they happen.
So for the have.
Instead of waiting until you're hurt.
Exactly.
And then you're like, oh, now I need to do rehab.
Right.
I like that. Prehab.
It's like proactive physical therapy.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Smart. And you can tailor it to the goalie's needs.
So a goalie with a history of hip problems would do different things than
Right.
a
Exactly.
goalie who's never been hurt.
Exactly.
What about the mental side, though?
Yeah.
We're talking about that tough guy mentality earlier.
It's tough.
How do you address that?
Well, communication is key.
Okay.
Goalies need to be able to talk to their coaches
Yeah.
about any pain or discomfort.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of that stigma around injuries.
Yeah, because sometimes even saying that you're hurt is seen as like...
Right, weakness.
Yeah.
We want to encourage them to talk about it.
So it's shifting the mindset from no pain, no gain to
Yeah.
longevity.
Exactly.
Playing for the long haul.
Yeah, playing for your whole career.
Not just for the next game.
Exactly. And it's not just on the players, though.
Right.
Coaches and trainers, they need to work together to
Yeah.
create these injury prevention programs.
So it's a team effort.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it's ongoing, right?
it is.
It's not like you do it once and you're good.
No, it's a process.
It's a lifelong commitment.
It is, yeah, to taking care of your body.
This brings up another point that I found really interesting in this study.
Yeah.
This idea of actually modifying techniques
Yeah.
to reduce strain without sacrificing how well they work.
Right. That's a really fascinating one.
Now, that's a bold idea,
It is. Yeah.
but wouldn't even small tweaks to a goalie's technique
Yeah.
mess with their performance?
Well, they are very fine-tuned.
They're so dialed in,
Yeah.
right? It seems like any little change could throw them off.
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Yeah.
But the study argues that there might be
like-
some subtle modifications
Okay.
that could lessen the strain
Okay.
without sacrificing effectiveness.
Interesting.
Yeah. And this would involve
Okay.
working really closely with the goalies,
Yeah?
making sure the changes are smart
Okay.
and don't disrupt their natural flow.
So it's not about like overhauling everything.
Right.
It's like fine-tuning
Exactly. Yeah. Fine-tuning those movements.
to make them a little more body-friendly.
Exactly.
Okay, and this ties into another idea too.
Yeah.
Right from the study.
Yeah.
Which is exploring new training methods
Right.
that could prepare goalies better for these demands.
Right. Because the traditional methods may not be cutting it.
So it's like the training isn't mirroring the reality of the game.
Exactly.
So what are they suggesting?
So they're suggesting
Yeah.
incorporating more
Okay.
multi-directional exercises.
Not just like
Not just straight lines, back
Yeah.
and forth.
Okay,
Agility drills.
agility, okay.
Yeah.
And exercises that really mimic the movements of goaltending.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like the butterfly and RVH.
So it's making the training more goalie specific.
Yeah, more tailored.
Okay. Are there any like
Yeah.
specific things that they mentioned or that people are looking at?
There's a lot of interest
Okay.
in incorporating things like yoga,
Okay.
Pilates,
Yeah.
and other movement disciplines
Yep.
into training.
I can see that.
Because these disciplines can help with flexibility,
Oh.
core strength,
Okay.
body awareness,
Okay.
all really important for goalies.
So it's not just about being strong and powerful.
No.
It's about control, having control,
Yeah.
flexibility, being aware of your body.
Exactly.
It's like a more holistic view.
It is, yeah. It's a more holistic approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
And we also need to remember,
Yeah.
injury prevention is ongoing.
It's not a one and done thing. right?
No, it's not like you take a pill and you're good.
It's every day.
It's constant.
You've got to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And always be adapting.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment, yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
What do you think are like
Yeah.
some of the most exciting areas for future research?
Oh, there's so many.
Okay.
I think a big opportunity is to delve deeper into the biomechanics of those key goaltending movements.
So like really get in there and understand how the body is working.
Exactly. Yeah, imagine using motion capture systems to track all those little details.
Yeah.
The angles, the forces, the stresses involved.
So you're like creating a 3D model.
A 3D blueprint of the movements.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We could use that for so many things, right?
So many things.
Like technique modifications, equipment design.
Yeah.
We could even like create simulations, right? To predict the risk of injury.
That's right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's next level stuff.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Okay, so biomechanics, what else?
Well, we could also explore the genetic and biomechanical factors that might predispose some goalies to problems.
So, like, why are some people more prone to these injuries?
Exactly. Yeah, could there be?
Than others, right?
Right. Could there be underlying anatomical differences?
Okay.
Maybe unlocking that code could lead to better screening.
I see.
Yeah.
Early interventions.
Exactly.
So, identify those red flags
early on
before they become major problems.
Exactly.
And we can't forget about the mental side, too, right? How does, like, the stress of the game?
The pressure.
Yeah, the pressure.
The split-second decisions. Yeah. How does that affect their movements?
And the risk of injury.
And the risk of injury? Yeah, we got to factor in the mental game.
So it's not just about...
It's the whole person.
It's the whole athlete.
Yeah.
It's the whole person.
It's a holistic approach.
Yeah, it's holistic.
Yeah.
Okay, so fostering a culture of prevention.
Right.
Where everyone involved is committed to this.
It's a team effort.
It's a team effort, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So what's the one thing you want our listener to walk away with?
Well, I think the big takeaway is that performance and long-term health, they're not mutually exclusive.
You can be great.
Exactly.
But you can also protect your body.
You can do both.
You can do both, yeah.
Yeah.
It's finding that balance.
That's right.
Okay, well said.
Well, I think that's a great place to leave it for today.
Okay, well, for you, dear listener.
Yeah.
We hope that this first part of our deep dive has given you a new appreciation for the challenges that these incredible athletes face.
Right.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Yes.
Where we'll explore some even more thought-provoking questions about the future of goaltending.
Absolutely looking forward to it.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
Bye.
You know, this study really highlights that tension between pushing for peak performance and protecting these athletes' long-term health.
It's like walking that tightrope, right?
Yeah, it is.
And it's not just the physical demands,
right,
but also the mental game.
The mental game is huge, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about the difference in risk perception between the goalies and their coaches.
Right.
It seems like across the board, the coaches were more concerned.
Yeah, they were more likely to rate the different techniques as very or extremely demanding.
Compared to how the goalies themselves rated them.
Yeah. So is that a sign that some players are just being reckless?
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Okay.
I think some players do push it a little too far sometimes.
You gotta get that save.
You gotta win, right.
Right.
But the coaches...
They've seen it all.
They've seen it all. They've seen those careers cut short by injuries.
So their alarm bells are going off.
Exactly. They're thinking long term.
Makes sense.
They're looking at the whole career, not just the next game.
It's interesting, though, because you don't want to, like, stifle these guys.
Right.
You know, they need to be able to push themselves to be competitive.
Absolutely. Finding that balance is key.
It's not just about the coach's perspective either, right?
Right.
Remember, the study also found that senior goalies...
The veterans, yeah,
tended to rate movements as more demanding.
Yeah, they've got more mileage on those bodies.
Than the junior players.
Exactly. They've probably learned some hard lessons along the way.
You know.
Yeah, they know where their limits are.
Which makes me think of that whole idea we talked about earlier. Yeah, the pitch count for butterfly saves.
Oh, yeah.
Big in baseball.
I love that idea.
It seems like...
It makes sense.
If we're recognizing that there's this accumulated strain, then having a way to monitor those high-impact movements could really help.
Yeah, it could be a game changer.
It's like having that safety net in place, right?
Right, you can push yourself.
Yeah.
But there's a limit.
But you know when to stop.
Exactly. You know when to ease up.
Of course, figuring out what that safe number is, that's a whole other question.
That's the tricky part.
You'd have to consider age, experience level. Biomechanics.
Yeah, even the intensity of the game.
So many factors.
So many factors. It's a complex equation.
Okay, so let's say we have a way to track these high-risk movements.
Okay.
What else can we do?
Well, the study mentions some really cool ideas for future research.
Give me the good stuff.
All right. Well, let's talk about training and technique.
Okay, we already talked about those goalie-specific exercises.
Right.
Yoga, Pilates.
Exactly.
What about actually modifying the techniques themselves?
Yeah, that one's a bit controversial.
That one makes me nervous.
I get it.
You know, these movements are so finely tuned.
They're like works of art.
It seems like if you change anything,
you're
going to mess with their whole flow.
Think about it like this, though.
Okay.
What if even small adjustments to things like posture or footwork could make a big difference in terms of stress on those hips?
So you're not saying get rid of the butterfly?
No. The butterfly is a classic for a reason.
It's iconic.
But what if we could refine it?
Okay.
Work with the athletes to find those little tweaks that could make it more body-friendly.
I like that word, refine.
Yeah.
It's not about getting rid of it.
It's about making it better.
It's about improving it.
Exactly.
Okay, so refining the techniques.
Yeah.
And then we've got the more goalie-specific training.
We need to push beyond those traditional drills. Yeah. And really create training programs
that mimic what these guys are actually doing
in
a game.
Yeah. More lateral movements.
More of those like
agility.
Weird contortions.
Yeah, those quick rotations.
Things that are going to strengthen those hip flexors and the groin muscles.
Yeah, but in a controlled environment.
Right, where you can build up to it.
Yeah.
And not just like throw yourself into a game situation.
Exactly.
It's also about that neuromuscular control.
Yeah, the mind-body connection.
Yeah. Explain that one to me again.
It's basically how well your brain can coordinate all those muscle activations.
Okay.
So those really quick and precise movements.
Yeah.
Like the butterfly save.
It's like you're training your brain to react.
It's like training your reflexes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your brain.
It's like a lot more than just like,
you
know, lifting weights.
It's more complex than that.
Yeah, it's way more complex.
There's a lot going on.
You know, it's funny. Yeah. We always see those amazing saves.
Right.
The highlight reel moments.
Yeah.
But we don't see all the work.
Right.
That goes into that.
The unseen work.
Yeah, the unseen work.
The training, the mental focus.
The years.
Dedication, of
dedication.
Yeah, and this study is saying there's still so much more we can do.
To help these athletes.
Yeah, to help them perform at their best.
But also stay healthy.
And stay healthy, exactly.
And it seems like technology is going to play a big role in that.
Absolutely.
You know, we've talked about wearable sensors.
Motion capture.
Motion capture systems.
There's so much potential there.
Paint a picture for me.
Okay.
Of what a truly data-driven approach to goaltending might look like.
So imagine a goalie going through a training session, wearing a suit that's covered in sensors, tracking every movement, every single thing they do.
And then all that data
goes right to a computer.
That's analyzed.
Analyzed,
So you can see exactly where they're excelling.
Exactly.
Where there's room for improvement.
Right.
And where they might be at risk.
In this technology.
And it's all specific.
Yeah, personalized, like tailored to them.
Tailored to that individual athlete.
And you know what? I bet this data could help with equipment design too.
Absolutely.
Imagine being able to design goalie pads.
Yeah.
That are custom fit
to each goalie's body.
To their body.
Their movements.
And their movements.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's pretty cool.
So we're talking about like, sci-fi level stuff.
Let's get there.
Goalie pads that like
Adapt?
Yeah, smart equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There are already companies developing smart helmets.
Wow.
That detect impacts.
For concussions.
For concussions, yeah.
So it's not a huge leap to imagine that technology being applied to
other gear.
Yeah. Okay, so we could have goalie pads that like
change shape
to protect them.
On the fly.
During a crazy save.
Exactly.
Okay, that's wild.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But it's not just about injury prevention, right?
Right.
This could also enhance performance.
Absolutely.
We could have equipment that actually makes them better.
Makes them faster, more agile.
Okay, so we're talking about
bionic goalies. The future.
Superhuman reflexes, enhanced flexibility.
It's pretty amazing what we can do with technology these days.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
I think the key here is to remember that we're using technology to empower athletes, not to replace them.
So it's about
augmenting their skills.
Working with them.
Working with them, yeah.
Not trying to
create robots.
Yeah. We still want that human element.
Okay, so what about the big picture?
Yeah.
What are the long-term implications for the sport itself?
That's a really interesting question.
We could be
on the edge of a huge shift.
I think we are.
In how we approach athletic development.
Right.
Injury prevention.
This data-driven, personalized approach.
Personalized.
That could change everything.
So you're saying this research on goaltending could impact all sports?
I think it has the potential to.
That's wild.
Yeah, what we're learning about goaltending.
It's like those principles could be applied to other positions in hockey.
Absolutely.
To other sports, completely.
To other sports, yeah.
It's about understanding the human body.
The biomechanics.
Yeah. What causes injuries.
Exactly.
And then using that knowledge to create solutions.
You protect the athletes.
It's like we're breaking down those silos between different sports.
I like that, breaking down the silos.
Yeah. And it's not just about the elite athletes either.
No, it's about everybody.
Imagine this technology being used in youth sports.
Youth sports, rec leagues. Even gym class.
Yeah, gym class.
We could be creating a whole generation of athletes.
Who are more in tune with their bodies.
Who are smarter.
Yeah.
Who prioritize their health.
And understand that.
Yeah, it's not just about winning at all costs.
Right, you can win.
You can win.
And be healthy.
You can do both.
It's like we're changing the culture of sports.
Yeah, shifting the mindset.
Instead of playing through pain.
Yeah.
It's playing smart.
It's playing for the long haul.
Playing for longevity.
Exactly.
This brings up something else that I found really thought-provoking in the study.
Okay, what is it?
What if
we
actually changed the rules of the game?
Oh, wow.
To protect these athletes.
That's a big one.
Now, I know that might sound radical.
Does.
Messing with the rules of hockey.
Yeah, people are going to get upset.
It's almost sacrilegious.
Yeah, it's a sacred thing.
But what if we made just some small adjustments to reduce the strain on the goalies?
Give me an example.
Okay, what if we widened the goalposts?
Interesting.
Just a little bit.
Okay,
so they don't have to make those crazy lateral movements.
Reduce the need for those extreme stretches.
Exactly.
I like it.
Or what if we redesign the goalie pads to provide more support?
More stability.
Now I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
You're thinking we're going to turn hockey into touch football.
Right. We don't want to take away the physicality of the game.
No, we still want those incredible saves.
The athleticism.
Those moments of brilliance.
Excitement.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose that.
It's not about that.
Right.
It's about
having a conversation.
Yeah, having a conversation.
Yeah.
Exploring the possibilities.
Can we make the game safer?
Without taking away what makes it so great.
Exactly.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years we'll look back and be like,
this was a turning point.
This was the start of a whole new era for goaltending.
I hope so.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be amazing.
This conversation has been really eye-opening for me.
Yeah, it's been great.
You've given me a lot to think about.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
So stay tuned for part 3 of this deep dive.
Where we'll delve into.
Yeah, we're going to get even deeper.
We're going to get even deeper. Cutting-edge research.
Cutting-edge research.
That could transform.
That could transform the future of goaltending.
It's going to be good.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. We're back and ready for the final part of our deep dive into the world of ice hockey goaltending.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
I'm ready.
In the last 2 parts, we talked about the demands of this position.
All those crazy moves.
The risks involved.
Those poor hips.
And some of the solutions for protecting those athletes.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
But I'm really excited to hear about that cutting-edge research.
Yeah, this is where things get really exciting.
Okay, hit me with it.
What's on the horizon that could really change the game?
It's for goaltending.
What's the future look like?
Well, one area that I think has huge potential is the combination of biomechanics and artificial intelligence.
AI in sports, okay?
Yeah.
I'm listening.
So imagine a world where we can create personalized avatars. Yeah.
Like digital versions of
each goalie. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you create that?
Using data from motion capture systems.
Okay.
Wearable sensors.
Okay.
So we're talking about really detailed...
Like a digital twin.
A digital twin.
Of the goalie.
Yeah. And we can use these avatars to analyze their movements, predict injury risk, even simulate different training scenarios.
So you're saying we could run virtual experiments...
We could, yeah.
On these avatars without actually putting the athlete at risk.
Exactly.
So you could test out different techniques.
Yeah.
Different training methods.
Different drills.
Okay, that's wild.
It's pretty amazing. It's like taking video game technology and applying it
to the real world.
Yeah. That's cool.
It is.
And I bet this kind of data could also be useful for equipment design.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So imagine being able to create goalie pads.
Custom fit.
That are like custom fit to the individual goalie.
Right, to their body.
To their movement.
And to their movement.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's pretty cool, right?
Okay, so we're talking about, sci-fi level stuff here.
It's closer than you think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are already companies out there developing things like smart helmets.
I was going to say, we've seen those for concussions, right?
That's right.
So it's not a huge leap.
Yeah, it's not a big jump.
To apply that.
To other gear.
Okay, so we could have goalie pads that change shape. In real time.
On the fly. Yeah.
That's wild.
It's pretty amazing. But it goes beyond injury prevention, too.
Right?
Yeah. We could use this technology to actually make goalies better.
To enhance their performance.
So we're talking about, like, bionic goalies.
Bionic goalies.
Superhuman reflexes, enhanced flexibility.
It's really pushing the boundaries.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
But I think it's important to remember we're using this tech to, like, empower the athletes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, not to replace them.
So it's like augmenting their skills.
Working with them.
Not turning them into robots.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
What are the big picture?
Yeah, long-term.
Long-term implication. For the sport itself.
That's a great question.
Yeah. We could be looking at like a huge paradigm shift.
I think we are.
In how we think about athletic training.
Injury prevention. This data-driven approach. It could change everything.
So what you're saying is this research on goaltending could have ripple effects across the whole sports world.
I think it has the potential to,
Okay, now that's really wild to think about.
It is, what we're learning about goaltending could be applied to other positions in hockey. To other sports, completely understanding those fundamental principles.
Yeah.
The biomechanics.
The things that cause injury.
What causes injuries, and then creating solutions.
It's like we're taking what we're learning here and applying it.
Across the board.
Yeah. And it's not just about the professionals either.
No, it's not.
Right.
About everybody.
This technology can trickle down to youth sports.
Youth sports, rec leagues.
Even gym class.
Exactly. Yeah. We could be creating
like a whole new generation of athletes.
A generation that are more aware of their bodies. More in tune.
Who train smarter.
Who understand how to stay healthy and prevent those injuries.
Who prioritize long-term health.
Yeah.
Alongside performance.
Exactly.
I like that.
It's a powerful vision.
It's a shift in the culture.
Yeah, it's a culture shift.
Of sports.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key message that you want our listener to take away?
I think the most important message is that the future of sports is about finding that balance between human potential and technological innovation.
So it's not one or the other.
No, it's both.
It's both.
Yeah, it's bringing those two things together.
Okay, well said.
So we're empowering athletes.
And for you, dear listener.
Yeah.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
I hope so.
About the future of sports.
Yeah.
And all the incredible possibilities.
For so many.
That lie ahead.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be involved in sports.
Okay, well that's all for today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.
Thanks for tuning in to The Science of Hockey. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share it with your friends, teammates, or anyone who loves hockey as much as you do. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment to let us know what you liked, what you'd like to hear next, or any questions you have. Your feedback helps us make the show even better. Until next time, keep your skates sharp, your mind open, and keep chasing the science behind the game.